Hello students, happy to meet you all again by this video. So in this session, we are going to discuss about IUPAC naming of coordination compound. So it is very important how to name any compound, isn't it? So let us move on to the session. Nomenclature represents a naming, how to name the compounds, how to name any coordinate compound. That's what we are going to see. So what there are some of the rules for this IUPAC naming, which is given by IUPAC. It is nothing but International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry. They have given some of the rules to be followed to name any organic or for all the compounds. They have given certain rules. So now we are going to learn about the IUPAC naming of coordination compounds. So what is the first point? Ligands named first, then metals. So first of all, the ligands. What are the donors? The donors have to be named first, then only it will be followed by metals. And then next point, charge of the metal indicated with the Roman numerals and enclosed in parentheses after metal name, all in one word. It means that once you name the ligand, then you have to name the metals, isn't it? So the charge of the metal also we have to indicate that in the Roman numerals. That Roman numerals also we have to write in the bracket. That is what they have given, enclosed in parenthesis after the metal name, all in one word. It means you should not write it as a separate words. There should not be any gap between them. You should write it as continuously. Okay. So all the points I will be explaining in Tamil also. So watch this whole video. Ligands listed alphabetically, ignoring prefixes that denote the number of each type of ligand. It means that there may be heteroleptic complexes, that is more than one ligands are also there. So in such cases, we have to name the ligands in an alphabetical manner. Okay, alphabetical order must be followed for heteroleptic complexes. Okay, and then the cations are named before anions. It means the cations, the positively charged cations should be named first, then only it will be followed by anions. So let me tell you everything in Tamil also so that you can understand more. ஸோ இந்த ஸ்லைடு என்ன அப்படின்னு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா, என்னென்ன ரூல்ஸ்லாம் நம்ம ஃபாலோ பண்ணணும் ஒரு ஐயூபேக் நேமிங் எழுதுறதுக்கு, ஒரு கோஆர்டினேஷன் காம்பவுண்ட்க்கு அப்படின்றது தான். ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஒன், வி ஹாவ் டு நேம் த லிகாண்ட்ஸ். லிகாண்ட்ஸை தான் முதல்ல நேம் பண்ணணும், அதுக்கப்புறம் தான் மெட்டல்ஸ். அப்போ லிகாண்ட்ஸ்னால் என்ன? அந்த மெட்டல் ஆட்டமோட அட்டாச் ஆகிருக்கிறவங்க, அவங்களுக்கு பேர் தான் யார்? லிகாண்ட்ஸ். அவங்க தான் டோனார், எலக்ட்ரானை டொனேட் பண்ணுறவங்க. ஸோ அவங்கள தான் ஃபஸ்ட்டு நேம் பண்ணணும், அதுக்கப்புறம் தான் மெட்டல் வரணும். செகண்ட் பாயிண்ட் பாரு, அந்த மெட்டலோட சார்ஜ், அதாவது இப்போ மெட்டலோட ஆக்சிடேஷன் ஸ்டேட்டுன்னு எழுதுவோம் இல்லையா, அந்த மெட்டலோட சார்ஜ் வந்து நம்ம ரோமன் நியூமரல்ஸில் தான் எழுதணும், அதை ப்ராக்கெட்குள்ளே தான் எழுதணும் அப்படின்னு சொல்கிறாங்க. நெக்ஸ்ட் பாயிண்ட்டு, அந்த லிகாண்ட்ஸ் வந்து இப்போ மோர் தேன் ஒன் லிகாண்ட்ஸ், ஒரு ஹெப்ட்ரோலெப்டிக் காம்ப்ளெக்ஸஸாக இருக்குது அப்படின்னா, நிறைய ஒன்றுக்கும் மேலே லிகாண்ட்ஸ் இருக்குது அப்படின்றப்ப அதில் நம்ம எழுதும்போது அல்ஃபபெட்டிக்கல் ஆர்டர் பார்க்கணும். ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள், இப்போ வாட்டர், குளோரின் ரெண்டுமே இருக்குது, அது லிகாண்டா அப்படின்னா வாட்டருக்கு நேம் வந்து அக்வா அப்படின்னு பண்ணுவோம். அப்போ அக்வா தான் ஃபஸ்ட்டு வரணும், அதுக்கப்புறம் தான் குளோரோ வரணும். ஏன்னா ஏ தானே ஃபஸ்ட்டு, அதுக்கப்புறம் தானே சி வரும். அதனால ஸோ மோர் தேன் ஒன் லிகண்ட் இருக்குது ஒரு காம்பவுண்டில் அப்படின்னா அதை நம்ம நேம் பண்ணும்போது அல்ஃபபெட்டிக்கல் ஆர்டர் ஃபாலோ பண்ணணும். அதே மாதிரி ஒரே மெட்டல் கூட கேட்டயான்ஸ், ஆனயான்ஸ் ரெண்டு விதமான லிகாண்ட்ஸ் அட்டாச் ஆகிருக்கு அப்படின்னா கேட்டயான்ஸை ஃபஸ்ட்டு சொல்லிவிட்டு அதுக்கப்புறம் தான் ஆனயான்ஸ் வரணும். ஓகேவா? நெக்ஸ்ட் ஒன். ஓகே, this is one more slide to explain the same rules. Here I have given you an example. So before going into the example, let us read the rules. As always, name the cation appears first, the anion is named last. So if you have a square bracket, the square bracket represents the coordination sphere. That is what we have discussed on yesterday, isn't it? So coordination sphere, if the counter ions, that is which is present outside the coordination sphere, if it is anion, then it must be named last. Okay, if the counter ions are positive, then it has to named first. So the cation appears first, then only the anion named last. Okay. Ligands are listed alphabetically before the metal. Prefixes denoting the number of a particular ligand are ignored when alphabetizing. It represents, just now I said, if I have more than one ligands, I have to follow the alphabetical order. So in this example, they have the alphabet. They have two ligands. One is ammonia, another one is chlorine. So ammonia can be named as amine. So amine and chloro. You just check out the alphabetical order. Amine, A comes first, then only it will be followed by C, chloro, isn't it? So you can name them first amine and then only chloro. Okay, classification and nomenclature of coordination compounds. Once again, the same kind of rules, but the second point of this slide is most important. In the name of the complex, first list ligands, then the central metal atom. So the ligands, we have to give the priority for ligands first, then only we can go for central metal atom. Third point, neutral ligands called without changes in the names of negatively charged ligands add O to the end. It represents for the different ligands, the naming also differs. For example, for chlorine, we have to name it as chloro. For bromine, we have to name it as bromo. So all these details also I have given in this video. So don't skip this. Kindly watch the whole video to understand the concept clearly. In case of several same ligands in the complex, before their name, use the correct Greek numeral. So, whatever may be the different kind of ligands or same kind of ligands are present in the complex, we have to name the numerals also. Numeral means nothing but how many ligands are present in it. That also we have to mention. Okay. And then there are three type of complexes we said. One is cationic, another one is anionic and neutral complexes. For neutral complexes, there is no need to change any name. We can write it as such. Whereas for the cationic complex and anionic complex, there may be little changes. For cationic complex also, you can write the English name as such. For the anionic complex alone, you have to write the Latin suffix ate. Next one is how to name ligands. So just now I said for some of the ligands we have to write it as we have to end the ligands with O, isn't it? So for bromide it is bromido. For chloride it is chlorido. For fluoride it is fluorido. Cyanide cyanido. Hydroxide hydroxido. Carbonate carbonato. Nitrate nitrato. Nitrite it is nitrito and nitrito. There are two things they have given. First one, the nitrogen will be coordinated to the central metal atom. In the next one, oxygen can be coordinated to the central metal atom. ஓகேவா அப்போ இந்த ஸ்லைட்லலாம் வந்து நீ அப்படியே இதெல்லாம் மெமரைஸ் பண்ணிக்கணும். இப்போ புரோமைடு இருக்குது நம்மளோட ஸ்ட்ரக்சரில் அப்படின்னா புரோமிடோ அப்படின்னு தான் எழுதணும். குளோரைடு அப்படின்னா குளோரிடோ. ஸோ அந்த தேர்ட் காலம் கொடுத்துருக்கேன் இல்லையா, ஐயூபேக் லிகாண்ட் நேம் அப்படின்னு, அதை அப்படியே நீ மெமரைஸ் பண்ணிக்கோ. எந்த ஃபார்முலாவுக்கு எதை யூஸ் பண்ணணும் அப்படின்றது கரெக்டாக உனக்கு தெரிஞ்சிருக்கணும். நெக்ஸ்ட் ஒன் பாருமா, how to name ligands. So sulfate, it can be named as sulfato, and sulfide can be named as sulfido. Oxalate, oxalato. Ethylene diamine, ethane 1,2 diamine. It is very important. Ethylene diamine is a bidentate ligand. Most of the students went wrong in this. So kindly note down this. Ethylene diamine name you should not mention as such. It has to named as ethane 1,2 diamine. And ethylene diamine tetraacetate, that is EDTA. EDTA name also you have to memorize. 2, 2 prime, 2 double prime, 2 triple prime. Ethane 1,2 dial dinitrile tetraacetato. Mostly these kind of questions they won't ask, but anyhow you just memorize for your competitive examination. In your board examination they won't be asking like this EDTA and all, but anyhow you must know what is given in your textbook, isn't it? That's why I am explaining this. And then triphenyl phosphine, It can be instead of phosphine, you have to name it as phosphane. That is the only change. Instead of INE, you have to write it as ANE. Okay. And then last one is pyridine. Pyridine can be named as acid, the same pyridine itself. Okay. ஸோ இவ்வளோ நேரம் இதெல்லாம் நம்ம பார்த்தது என்ன, ஒரு லிகேண்டை எப்படி நம்ம நேம் பண்ணுறது அப்படின்னு பார்த்துருக்கோம். நெக்ஸ்ட் பாருமா, ஸோ இந்த லிகேண்ட்ஸ்லையுமே there are some of the peculiar ligands of bidentate or tridentate. That name also I have given. And then in the second picture of this, you can understand there are some of the elements with the underlined. I have underlined some of the elements. It represents the underlined atom is bonded to the transition metal atom. Okay. ஸோ எதெல்லாம் அண்டர்லைன் பண்ணியிருக்கணும், இப்போ சயனோ அப்படின்னு குறிச்சிருக்கிறதுல சி அண்டர்லைன் பண்ணியிருக்கு அப்படின்னா அந்த கார்பன் தான் என்ன ஆகுது, பவுண்டட் டு த சென்ட்ரல் மெட்டல் ஆட்டம். அதே மாதிரி என்சி மைனஸ் அப்படின்றதுல என்ன அண்டர்லைன் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க அப்படின்னா அது வந்து ஐசோசயனோ. அப்போ என் நைட்ரஜன் ஆட்டம் இஸ் பவுண்ட் டு த சென்ட்ரல் மெட்டல் ஆட்டம் அப்படி நேம் பண்ணு, அப்படி புரிஞ்சுக்கணும். அதுக்கு தான் அந்த கீழே வந்து அண்டர்லைன் பண்ணி கொடுத்துருக்குது. ஓகேவா? இந்த ஃபார்முலா அண்ட் நேம்ஸ் ஆல்ரெடி வாட் வி ஹவ் டிஸ்கஸ்ட் இன் த ப்ரீவியஸ் ஸ்லைட்ஸ். ஒன்ஸ் அகேன் ஐ ஹவ் given here. Next one is how to name metal ions. ஸோ இவ்வளோ நேரம் நம்ம பார்த்ததுலாம் ligands, how to name the ligands we have seen. Next one is how to name metal ions. So for chromium it is for metal ions you have to separate them as a cationic complex or anionic complex. அதை முதல்ல நீ பார்க்கணும் whether the complex is cationic or anionic. How to identify that? Based on the counter ion. ஓகேவா? இப்போ வெளியில் இருக்கக்கூடிய கவுண்டர், இஃப் த கவுண்டர் அயான் இஸ் நெகட்டிவ் then your coordination sphere will be positive. So the complex you have is cationic in nature. Suppose I have potassium atom as a counter ion, then it is a positive ion. So obviously the coordination sphere must be a negative ion. Negative ion means nothing but it is an anionic complex. So first of all you must be in a position to identify whether it is a cationic complex or anionic complex. Then only you can write the name. If it is the cationic complex, then no problem at all. You can write the name of the metal as such. If it is an anionic complex, then with the name of the metal you have to add the suffix ate at the end. Okay. So this is most important. For chromium, cationic complex is chromium. For anionic it is chromate. And zinc, cationic complex is zinc, anionic complex is zincate. Aluminium, aluminate. Iron, ferrate. Copper, cuprate. Cobalt, cobaltate. And then lead, plumbate. Silver, argentate. Tin, stannate. So you just carefully note down one thing. When it is an anionic complex, we have to mention the name in Latin. Latin name, at the end we have to add the suffix ate. Okay, keep it in your mind. Don't ever write it as leadate, silverate, like that. It is absolutely wrong. Most of the students went wrong in this. If it is a lead anionic complex, then you have to write it as plumbate. Okay. So from this onwards, you will have only the examples. Examples with the IUPAC name. So CONH35Cl, it is nothing but pentaamine. Why it is pentaamine? Because the coordination number means number of ligands attached, isn't it? There are 5 ammonia molecules. That's why it is represented as penta. So pentaamine chloro. Okay, that's all ligands. Ligands gets over. What is the central metal atom here? Cobalt. It is a cationic complex. Why it is cationic complex? Because Cl2 is the counter ion. Chlorine, we know that it is a halogen negative ion, isn't it? So the complex is cationic complex. So cobalt is in the +3 oxidation state and anion is the chloride. Coming to the next example, Na2MOOCl4. So Na2 is a counter ion, which is sodium. It is a positive ion. So obviously the complex will be anionic in nature. So tetrachlorooxomolybdate. So this is the ligand name. So this is one more slide regarding the nomenclature of IUPAC compounds, IUPAC naming. Latin names of the central metal atoms, if it is iron, then you have to name it as ferrate. If it is copper, then cuprate. If it is silver, then you have to name it as argentate. For gold, it is aurate. Okay. So if the complex is cationic, name of the metal is given first. Iron for Fe. As such, the name you can write. The only thing note down in this slide is oxidation state of the central metal atom. So oxidation state of the central metal atom, you have to write it in a Roman numeral. I told you there should not be any gap between them. See, in this slide they have given you 4 examples with the Roman numerals. Okay, so first one is 0 because the oxidation state itself 0. So for 0 also you have to mention. Okay, and then in the next one it is 4. The third example it is 2, and then last example it is 1. So all the oxidation states are mentioned in the Roman numerals enclosed by the parenthesis. So it has to be closed in a brackets. Okay, listen here. This is one of the important, from this slide onwards I am giving you the examples, various examples of coordination compounds. So if you learn all these, or if you know how to name all these coordination compounds, then you can be in a position to answer any questions regarding this IUPAC naming. So watch this whole video. First one is Ca2FeCN6. So first of all, you have to check whether it is a cationic complex or anionic complex. So cation or anion, how will you identify that? By means of a counter ion. So what is counter ion? The ion which is present outside the square bracket. So which is present outside the square bracket now? Calcium. Calcium is a positive ion. So obviously the complex is anionic complex. Okay. So this you have to identify first. Next one, the calcium is present on the, as the first, you have to name it first. So calcium, and then move on to the coordination number. What is the coordination number? The number of ligands attached to the central metal atom. So there are 6 cyano molecules attached to the iron. So I can say it as hexa. 6 represents hexa. Hexa cyano iron, it is a anionic complex. For anionic complex, we have to name it the central metal atom as a Latin name with the ATE, isn't it? So it can be named as ferrate. What is the oxidation state here? 2. So calcium hexacyanoferrate 2. They have given you in black letters as well as in the red letters, red color letters. Why is it so? Because I told you it must be a single word. There should not be any gap between the ligand to the central metal atom. So the first one what they have written is, in between there is a capital letter for ferrate. It is wrong. You must write it as calcium hexacyanoferrate, a single word as such. Next example is NH4 Cr NH3 twice NCS4. What is that? So the counter ion is ammonium here. Ammonium is a positive ion. So the complex is anionic. That we know. Okay. Then what else we have to do? There are 2 types of ligands. One is amine. Another one is thiocyanato. So we have to name them in the um, alphabetical order. So how to name it in the alphabetical order? Amine comes first, isn't it? So diamine. So it can be named as ammonium diamine. And then how many thiocyanato complexes are there? 4, isn't it? So tetrathiocyanato. It is an anionic complex. So the chromium can be named as chromate. So this is the way you have to name the organic IUPAC coordination compounds. Platinum NH34 NO2Cl SO4. What is that? Now SO4 is a negative ion. sulfate is a negative ion. We know that, isn't it? If it is a negative ion, then the complex is cationic complex, positive ion complex. So how can we name it? Chloro. Okay, first of all, we got to name the ligands. What are the ligands I have here? Amine, nitro, and chloro. So amine comes first. That's why tetraamine and then chloro C. Okay. So tetraamine, chloro, nitro, platinum. The oxidation number you have to mention in the Roman numerals. The final is sulfate. Okay. Next one is NiDMG twice. So nickel dimethyl oxide, glyoxime. So how can we name this? There is no more counter ions, so directly I can go for coordination number. What is the coordination number here? 2. But the dimethyl glyoxine is a bidentate ligand, so I can name it as a bis dimethyl glycosimeter nickel 2. So bis dimethyl glyoximo nickel 2. So from this onwards, the same compounds whatever given in your textbook I have taken. So you can go through all these namings. If you have any doubts, you can drop me a message in the comments box so that I can easily explain you. Okay. So next one is, so you just check one by one for each and every coordination compound or for every complex. You just try to answer, try to write the names on your own. If you have any inconveniences, you please send a message in the comments box. I am ready to help you out always. So once you know how to name the coordination compounds well, then you can be in a position to learn the theories of coordination compounds very easily. So that's what we are going to discuss on next session. Okay. So this is an important chapter where you can easily score marks also. And in the final slide, I have given you test yourself questions with the answers also. You just try at once whatever the concept you understand, how to name the coordination compounds. You just apply all the rules and try yourself. If you like this video, kindly share it with your friends because let everybody can use it. Your likes, comments and shares always means a lot to me to motivate myself to do further in chemistry. Thank you, students.